did I actually? I thought, oh, it's fine. And then I go to do something, I'm like, there's blood all over my sandal. Yeah, this might work. Let's see. Do, 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 do. Okay. If you must, you must.
That's it. That's all right. Wake up.
Okay. Wow. Okay. Better you than me. You guys should do something. And those colors, your banjo and your banjo sound so nice. You should come to the I thought you were down everything.
I thought so too, but I realized that did not. No, they're leaving right now.
Let's all play the same song, shall we? Let's all play.
Song.
Let's try playing the same song at the same time.
Song you don't play.
Why don't we?
Any song. What song? Any song. Pick it up.
How about number 78, Paradise?
And Daddy, won't you take me back
with the world's largest shovel, tortured the Trimble and stripped all the band. Well, they dug for their coal till the land was forsaken, and wrote it all down as the progress of man. Now, Daddy, won't you take me back to Muhlenberg County, down by the Green River where paradise lay? Well, I'm sorry, my son, but you're too late in asking. Mr. Peabody's coal train has hauled it away. Now let's do some solos.
I thought we had another book.
Who wants to solo? Let's hear the mandolin, okay? Oh, where did it go?
So we only have four. I'm gonna have to pull another, that bad book just to get any songs.
That or we could share one.
I mean, this is my dilemma, actually.
Yeah, how did that happen? You had it. Somebody stole
I
your
thought we
book.
had a fifth book.
So are you remotely remotely?
No, Who's a D? Just a D.
D's, D, G, and D.
Yeah, but it's, I mean, we're just trying to.
That ain't good.
The problem is we don't have, there's no index on anything, okay? So, let me just see if this is,
Okay,
150, if this is good.
should be anthem.
Yeah, and then if it'd be a good book, it just won't have an index.
Right.
Okay, so there's no index on this, yeah.
Yeah, it's missing, it's probably missing
Now-
the last page.
Oh. So, Conrad, do you have a flash drive? No. So the only
Oh,
other thing
yeah.
that I'm going to
Oh, that's, we could play it in G if you prefer.
a song with that we agree on.
You have a hard time playing it in D?
With the
Well, I can
index.
sing it in D, but I
Then
can't
go down,
sing it in
once they
G.
get the digital copy,
Oh, well, I'm
then
doing
we
it in
can
D.
turn it,
Yeah.
but then
So should we,
we can catch it. That's what we agree on. Because we don't live down to like 5 books. The one that I have is called Index. And I removed one for a week or two, we're gonna be flying around.
so where are you?
Oh,
Yeah, hum or something.
wait. Well, this is a Conrad song.
Well, that was fun.
My battery is dying. And then Howard won't have a book. We're short.
I can share?
Yeah, well, we'll have to share, I mean, obviously, but we're just, we're trying to,
Big guy here?
Yeah.
There you
you know,
Right behind you. You can share with me or Diane, right? Uh-huh.
We have a what?
Bond.
Right, we don't mind each other's breath.
Because you're singing side by side,
Yeah.
lots of places.
So there's gonna be this huge convergence of Buckleys.
The Wahoo?
A huge convergence of Buckleys.
Oh my God.
Today?
On
Oh.
July 10th.
Right.
July 10th, that's the, you won't be here for
I'm
that.
gonna miss the Jim Sherman show.
Oh, and that's when we're supposed to sing too, isn't it? We're supposed to sing then
Yeah,
too?
right. You're practicing or nothing.
I do know the tune. I found myself just humming it today.
You've got it, yeah. I just thought that since Jim and I were not,
I drive
we're
around
not
my
doing well
house in
yesterday.
Brentmar and they instead of having
I can't remember the words, but I've got the tune now.
The words make
rolled in eating all the
Yeah, exactly.
right on
Blakesville.
Theodore Worth Parkway.
good morning, Howard.
Rural people who don't turn up.
Hey, Howard, I'm working with Conrad to get new books made for the, up here that still match the congregation, because we can't, they're not gonna put new songs in, we're gonna add like a supplement, and they'll have to wing it, or we'll make some supplement things up.
Yeah,
The short of the long, it's like $25, would you be able, we willing to put it at $25 for a book?
They have 50 goats out there.
Just, it's broken down, roughly about 25 to 30 bucks, and Conrad and I are gonna keep the difference, square the rest of it away.
Yeah.
We're just trying to make something happen here, keep it moving.
Howard,
Yes.
you should grab that microphone over there.
Yeah, we do have one, an extra mic.
But can I hear Diane here?
Can you hear me?
Can we,
Can you hear me?
You could move that over here. You could move that thing over here.
can we start with a Crosby, Stills and Nash song, actually?
Do you have a name?
We did that last week.
We did, is that too much deja vu?
Yeah, I wanna start with 178.
All right, 178,
Wow.
guys.
There's a man
That
who
works
knows
for-
what he
that
wants.
works for me.
That's a good thing. You don't know what you want, it's hard to get it.
That sounds really profound. Oh, people get ready.
I don't even know this one.
People get ready, there's a train a-comin'. Don't need no baggage, you just get on board. All you need is faith to hear the diesels a-hummin'. Don't need no ticket, you just thank the Lord. People get ready for the train to Jordan, picking up passengers from coast to coast. Faith is a key, open the doors and boredom. There's hope for all among those loved the most. There ain't no room for the hopeless sinner who hurt all mankind just to save his own. Have pity on those whose chances grow thinner. No hiding place against the kingdom's throne. just get on board. All you need
is faith
to hear the diesels a humming. Don't need no ticket, you just thank the Lord. People get ready, there's a train a-coming. Don't need no baggage, you just get on board. All you need is faith to hear the diesels a humming. Don't need no ticket, you just thank the Lord. Don't need no ticket, you just thank the Lord. I love that song.
We don't have hardly anybody here to request.
I
Yeah,
know.
more players than we got parishioners.
Well, that means we just get to, the band gets to rule.
All right, 108.
Well, if we
108.
could promote this and bring in some cash, we could actually throw a big party.
This will be in the key of G rather than as written. Yes, key of G.
So we get
Rather
to
than F.
transpose on the fly. Mm-hmm.
We can do what on the fly?
Transpose.
108, 109.
Yeah, so
108.
108 in G. None of
Are
which
we
is
cabling?
in the book.
Cabling?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's just 3 chords, you should be able to follow.
In
I'll
G?
figure it out, yeah.
The book says it's in F.
Yeah, so there's 3 different ways to do it, and he's choosing the one that's not written down.
All right,
That's why we get to.
gotcha. I don't care,
Fly.
I don't play an instrument.
It's
The
just
warden led a prisoner down the hallway to his doom. And I stood up to say goodbye like all the rest. And I heard him tell the warden just before he reached my cell, let my guitar playing friend do my request. Let him sing me back home with a song I used to hear. Make my old memories come alive. Take me away. Turn back the years. Sing me back home before I die. Jim.
singers. There's a song my mama sang. Could I hear it once before you move along? And you can sing me back home with a song I used to hear. Make my old memories come alive. Take me away and turn back the years. Sing me back home before I die. Sing me back home before I die.
Request? 143. That must be somebody out on Zoom. Oh, this will be fun. Okay.
Feel free to share with me.
This one I know, the last one I didn't know.
Conrad doesn't like it so much, but I like it.
No, I'm not real fond of it.
Yeah, we know.
Left a good job in the city, working for the man every night and day. And I never lost one minute of sleep, worried about the way things might have been. A big wheel keep on turning, a proud Mary keep on burning, rolling, rolling, rolling on the river. I cleaned a lot of plates in Memphis, pumped a lot of paint down in New Orleans, but I never saw the good side of the city till I used to ride on a riverboat queen. A big wheel keep on turning, proud Mary keep on burning, rolling, 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 rolling on the river. If you come down to the river, bet you're gonna find some people who live. You don't have to worry, 'cause you got no money. People on the river are happy to give. Big wheel keep on turning, proud Mary keep on burning, rolling, rolling, rolling on the river, rolling, 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 rolling on the river.
see Tina up there.
199.
99.
I think I know what that is.
It's a lot of pages.
Oh,
Aw.
this is probably not requested by Colleen, right? Because I don't think she's in church today.
You got your cable?
Linda's hum.
You don't have a cable.
Okay.
Oh, there's probably a cable right here.
It probably is.
Maybe on my trombone case.
Always prepared.
D, okay.
Okay. E of D.
Which number?
Number
199.
Shine on everybody's moon, up everybody's sky, down everybody's heart. Shine on everybody's dreams, no matter where they fly, watch over what they start. Dry up everybody's tears, you know no one else can. Somebody ought to. Kinda work on keeping things together till we figure what to do. Everybody's got a lot of thinking to do these days. There's just so many hours in a day. Everybody's got a lot of working to do these days, and a lot of people standing in the way. And Moon, you know, I just can't take it. So here I'm scratching out one more lunatic tune. 'Cause time and things belong to no one, but it's everybody's moon. Shine on everybody's moon, up everybody's sky, down everybody's heart. Shine on everybody's dreams, no matter where they fly, watch over what they start. Dry up everybody's tears, you know no one else can, and somebody ought to. Kinda work on keeping things together till we figure what to do. Nobody gets a lot of feedback just recently, and I'm not giving nor expecting help. No one can seem to get together to work it out, so you see I'm speaking only for myself. So hard to get on the right wavelength, but I will find a way to reach my neighbors soon. Not sure how much we have in common, but it's everybody's moon. Shine on everybody's moon, up everybody's sky, down everybody's heart. Shine on everybody's dreams, no matter where they fly, watch over what they start. Dry up everybody's tears, you know no one else can. Somebody ought to. Kinda work on keeping things together
till we figure what to do. Shine on everybody's moon.
Requests? 164, did I hear? 64.
No, there's an old one.
Oh, 164.
I think he said 60.
Oh, 64, yeah, that is.
We'll see.
Classic. Maybe somebody's turning 64.
Uh-oh, 64 is when I'm 64 in this book.
No, 164.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
164. Okay,
Oh, here we
sorry.
go. Yep, there we go.
I thought I heard 64 from more than one source.
164.
So in the morning, so it sees of kindness, so it is the noontime and the dewy waited for the harvest and the time of reaping. We shall come rejoicing, bringing in the sheaves, bringing in the sheaves, bringing in the sheaves. We shall come rejoicing, bringing in the sheaves, bringing in the sheaves, bringing in the sheaves. We shall come rejoicing, bringing in the sheaves. Sowing in the shadows, fearing neither clouds nor winter's chilling breeze. By and by the harvest and the labor ended, we shall come rejoicing, bringing in the sheaves, bringing in the sheaves, bringing in the sheaves. We shall come rejoicing, bringing in the sheaves, bringing in the sheaves, bringing in the sheaves. We shall come rejoicing, bringing in the sheaves.
Jim on the chorus. Going forth with weeping, sowing for the master. Spirit of when the weeping's over, He will bid us welcome. We shall come rejoicing, bringing in the sheaves, bringing in the sheaves, bringing in the sheaves. We shall come rejoicing, bringing in the sheaves, bringing in the sheaves, bringing in the sheaves. We shall come rejoicing, bringing in the sheaves. We shall come rejoicing, bringing in the sheaves.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
We brought them all the way up.
Bringing in those sheaves.
Okay. Last time we did this, Cheryl said it was a train wreck. We'll see.
Yeah, some of the chords are in the wrong place. Oh, well.
Heavens up. Where is it?
The heavens are telling the glory of God, and all creation is shouting for joy. Come dance in the forest, come play in the field, and sing to the glory of
sing to the sun, the brighter of day. He carries the light of the Lord in his rays. The sun and the stars who light up the way unto your throne.
Second verse.
Praise to the wind that blows through the trees, that sees mighty storms, the gentlest breeze. They blow where they will, they blow where they please, to please the Lord. The heavens are telling the glory of God, and all creation is shouting for joy. Come dance in the forest, come play in the fields, and sing, sing to the glory of the Lord. Praise to the rain that waters our fields and blesses our crops, so all the earth yields from death unto life. Her spirit revealed springs forth in joy. Praise to the fire who gives us his light, the warmth of the sun to brighten our night. He dances with joy, his spirit so bright, he sings of you. The heavens are telling the glory of God, and all creation is shouting for joy. Come dance in the forest, come play in the field, and sing, sing to the glory of the Lord.
To the earth, makes life to grow.
The creatures you made to let your light show. The flowers and trees that help us to know the heart of love. Praise to our death that makes our life real. The knowledge of loss that helps us to feel the gift of yourself, your presence revealed to lead us home. The heavens are telling the glory of God, and all creation is shouting for joy. Come dance in the forest, come play in the fields, and sing, sing to the glory of the Lord. And sing, sing to the glory of the Lord. Requests? 1-3?
13.
1-3, that's what I said,
As opposed to 13.
as opposed to 13.
Thank you for doing the page turning.
Oh, you're welcome.
I
It's a
find
little,
that really annoying.
it's a little hard with the, you have the
Okay.
instrument there. Let's see, down by the, I think we all know this one.
Now, is this a cappella, by the way?
No,
Oh, I don't have any chords. What are the two chords?
it's in the key of G. It's a G, D7th, G.
13, not 113. 13.
Oh,
I guess it's
Can we start?
must be my hearing
not
aid.
close
My
enough to
batteries are
National
getting low.
Liverwurst Day to sing those lyrics. It's not close enough to National Liverwurst Day to sing those lyrics. Right there. 23rd of May, I think.
I'm gonna lay down
My sword and
and shield down by the riverside, down by the riverside, down by the riverside. I'm gonna lay down my sword and shield down by the riverside. Gonna study war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more. Ain't gonna study war no more. Ain't gonna study war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more. Ain't gonna study war no more. Ain't gonna study war no more. I'm gonna walk with the Prince of Peace down by the riverside, down by the riverside, down by the riverside. I'm gonna walk with the Prince of Peace down by the riverside. I'm gonna study war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more. Ain't gonna study war no more. Ain't gonna study war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more. Ain't gonna study war no more. Ain't gonna study war no more. I'm gonna lay down my sword and shield down by the riverside, down by the riverside, down by the riverside. I'm gonna lay down my sword and shield down by the riverside. I'm gonna study war no more. Ain't gonna study war no more. Ain't gonna study war no more. Ain't gonna study war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more. Ain't gonna study war no more. Ain't gonna study war no more. Requests? Hello?
One more, we heard.
Yeah. Somebody who walked in the last 5 minutes, make a request.
All right. What?
This little light.
What number is that?
It's 48.
Used to be number 60.
Yeah, well,
48.
I like that 60 sitting by the dock of the bay. That works for me.
48.
I think we know this.
40.
Kind of a similar beat on this one. Just a little light of mine.
We're doing a little Dixie.
I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine. I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine. I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. But one day gave me the gift of love. On Tuesday, peace came from above. On Wednesday, told me to watch and pray. On Thursday, gave me a little more grace. On Friday, told me to watch and pray. On Saturday, told me just what to say. On Sunday, gave me the power divine to let my little light shine.
This little light of mine.
Little light of mine.
Gonna let it shine.
Gonna let it shine.
I'm gonna let it shine.
Gonna let it shine.
Little light of mine.
All through the
I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine.
Let it shine.
Let it shine.
Let it shine. Let it shine. Now some say you gotta run and hide, but we say there's no place to hide, and some say that the others decide, but we say let the people decide. Now some say the time's not right, but we say, hey, the time's just right. If there's a dark corner in our land, you gotta let your little light shine.
This little light of mine.
This little light of mine,
I'm gonna let it shine.
shine everywhere I go.
Gonna let it shine.
Gonna let it shine
Little light of mine.
all through the world.
I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine.
Let it shine.
Let it shine.
Let it shine. Let it shine.
This little light of mine.
This little light of mine.
I'm gonna let it shine.
Gonna let it shine.
This little light of mine.
Everywhere I go.
Gonna let it shine.
Gonna let it shine.
This little light of mine.
All through the world.
I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine.
Let it shine.
Let it shine.
Let it shine.
Let it shine.
Let it shine. Welcome to Walker Church, where our mission is to nurture spirituality, build caring community, and work courageously for peace with truth, justice, and mercy. Blessed be. could sit here if you want. You could sit here if you want.
Move around it.
Cool.
Greetings, my relatives. Greetings and welcome. Welcome here. Here, where we're on the molten heart of Gaia. Here between the radiance of Sol and the reflected light of Luna. Here between the Southern Cross and the North Star, L'Étoile du Nord, the drinking gourd. And always, completely, exhaustively, totally here within this great and holy and exquisite mystery. The mystery from which wells the ocean of discovery that washes at our footprints. I greet you. I delight in you. I delight in y'all, in you lot. And I delight in you, in thee, and in that which is infinite and transcendent in you. I'm too timid and lazy to encounter each of you separately, but all together here, I'm comforted. I can be with you all. I can be with that in me, which is infinite and transcendent, and that is you, which is infinite and transcendent, that in which we are all one. Namaste.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. We're going to start with Lao Tzu reading by Steve Garenbeck Miller. That will be followed by 5 minutes of silence, and at the end of that time, which I'm supposed to pay attention to, we will ring the chimes. Anybody know where those are? I think we're going to have this ready. Go take it away, Steve.
Hello, good morning. This Lao Tzu passage was one I heard, I think from Walter a few years ago. And I read it. I've read it in my my class before, and I remember it's one that caught the attention of a student that was never too inspired by my Spanish lessons, but he wanted a copy of this. Watch your thoughts, they become your words. Watch your words, they become your actions. Watch your actions, they become your habits. Watch your habits, they become your character. Watch your character, it becomes your destiny.
We will have 5 minutes of silence. I've never done the chimes before, so it's ended quickly. Welcome to, and I'm going to share the announcements. Am I coming in okay with the mic? Yeah, okay, then we'll just not touch anything. I touched something. Okay, next Sunday, we have Sally Kuhn. She's going to be speaking. Next Sunday, we have Sally Keene, and the Women's Ensemble is going to be singing. The following Sunday, we have Jim and Chuck McCreary with music and everything. Choir will be meeting at 10:30 on Saturdays here. And there is a grief group. It meets on Mondays at 7 p.m. at Walker, starting July 11th, and every other Monday after that. The other announcement is irrelevant. It is about the play that closed last night, Miss Robin Hood and Her Merry Band of Thieves. That was fun. It's less than an hour. Okay, anyway. Let's see, and that brings us to our next exciting event, which is Jennifer Gonstrom reading poetry. Whoa, what? Did I forget something?
Other people make a note.
Oh, does anybody else have any announcements? Does anyone else have any announcements? Oh. I have an announcement over here.
Thank you. I wanted to make an announcement about the East Phillips Indoor Urban Farm that I know a lot of you have been following and supporting. And right now we are trying to get more time for the mayor and the city council to acknowledge that the community needs time to respond and negotiate with what they are offering. So there's a meeting with the mayor tomorrow. The mayor has granted us an audience, at least for 4 of us from the community, but doesn't seem to understand that we need to check out with our community after. So they're kind of giving us the bums rush to June 30th, which is end of the week. So that's what we're pushing against right now, is hoping to get more time to continue negotiating and informing the community of what's going on. So just thought I'd give you the update.
Thank you, Steve. Any other announcements?
So Janet Skidmore kind of organized about a month ago, maybe a little more than that, an informal conversation group just for people to get together and talk about it's kind of a sharing time, but it also, people have shared, desires for the church and thoughts and feelings post-COVID. And so we're going to continue that. I'm surprised it wasn't announced just now. So what we're, tentatively talking about is twice a month getting together here at the church on Wednesdays, but that's not official. But for those that have participated, it's been great to have you, and people are encouraged to come for the next one. And then also we have been discussing potlucks probably once a month after church, and it seems like there's a lot of interest, and so that's probably going to happen too. So more to come on those things, or if people are interested in getting involved, you can talk to Janet or me, because I'm kind of a person that's been to those meetings. So that's that.
Do you know what day that's going to be? July. I missed it. Oh, Mondays are good.
Thank you. I have a quick question. Maybe you're answering it. I can't hear it. Is there an all-church official congregation meeting scheduled at all? Any ahead? All right. Thank you.
Was that a negative?
Well, I guess you can
Other announcements?
I was going to do this when I got up. We did already schedule some very informal potlucks for this summer. They will be every other Sunday beginning July 10th. That means July 10th, 24th, August 7th, and 21st. There's no program involved in any of these potlucks. It's just time to be informal, have simple food. Nobody's going to bring a whole spread to feed the group. You've got to bring your own stuff. You've got to take it home. I stepped up and said I would volunteer to help round up volunteers for this. But that doesn't mean that if you don't commit to be a volunteer on any particular Sunday, you can just leave and assume that somebody else is going to do it for you, or that you can just show up and assume that somebody else is going to have everything the way you want it. So we have everything. Oh, sorry. Okay, so the potlucks will start after celebration ends. They will last until 2:30. And I think that's it. If you have any questions, you can talk to me, and I will be calling you personally to see if you can help. All right.
Any other announcements?
Thank you. Yeah, just in answer to Jesse's question about the congregational meetings, the Walker Board will be meeting this afternoon, but as of our last, and you probably heard this same read last week, but Rhonda's continuing in her current capacity of leading the building, including managing renter relationships, et cetera, and newsletter management, et cetera. The board will be distributing a list of different roles of board members to the community, so communication regarding specific topics can go to that person. For example, Casey will be in charge of finance. And Rhonda has contacted various facilitators and has not found leads yet. Contacting more one way or the other. We will have a facilitator named at the end of June and announce dates on July 3rd. So we're all looking forward to when we can start meeting as a congregation about the situation of the future of the church. And that'll be announced by July 3rd.
Thank you. One more, maybe two.
Well, this is perhaps unusual, I don't know, but there's a Native woman named Nimi Macoons, who I met at the women's encampment on 25th and Bloomington, who is a powerful voice, and she feels her life is being threatened, and with various actions, she's including a communication with the police department in St. Paul. She is accepting their offer to occupy the police station so that she can secure her safety, because it doesn't seem like it's possible any other way. So on the 11th of July, she's chaining herself to the police department, where her presence and safety will be witnessed. And she's inviting anyone that cares to be present for the sake of safety and the people to come join her. And she'll, I guess, stay there for as long, I don't know, for a very long time. But so that's my announcement.
That sounds pretty amazing. Hope we can get some of that in future bulletins. Any other announcements? Jennifer, poetry? Do you want to use that mic? This mic? That's fine.
Okay. I'm going to read the poem From a Country Overlooked. Oh, sorry. Sorry. Okay. I'm going to read the poem From a Country Overlooked by Tom Hennon. He was born in 1942 to a Dutch-Irish farming family living in western Minnesota, and he's now 80. Then I'm going to read some words by Black Elk. He was born in 1863 to an Oglala Lakota family who named him Hehakasapa. They were living along a river in what is now northeastern Wyoming, and he died in 1950 in South Dakota. Both speak to summer on the prairie and the sound of the cottonwood trees. There are no creatures you cannot love. A frog calling at God from the moon-filled ditch as you stand on the country road in the June night. The sound is enough to make the stars weep with happiness. In the morning, the landscape green is lifted off the ground by the scent of grass. The day is carried across the hours without any effort by the shining insects that are living their secret lives. The space between the prairie horizons makes us ache with its beauty. Cottonwood leaves click in an ancient tongue to the farthest cold dark in the universe. The cottonwood also talks to you of breeze and speckled sunlight. You are at home in these great empty places, along with red-winged blackbirds and sloughs. You are comfortable in this spot, so full of grace and being that it sparkles like jewels spilled on water. And words from Black Elk. Perhaps you have noticed that even in the slightest breeze, you can hear the voice of the cottonwood tree. This, we understand, is its prayer to the Great Spirit. For not only people, but all things and all beings pray to the Great Spirit continually in different ways. Oops.
Whoa, I guess that brings us to the scripture reading and the sermon. All right, click to the other page. Okay, the scripture for today is in Luke 17, verse 21. Am I coming across clearly? Okay, good. I just want to say, this is long. So I invite you to get up, go to the back, do some qigong, move your body, jump up and down, whatever you need to do so you don't fall asleep. Neither shall they say, "Lo here," or lo there. For behold, the kingdom of God is within you. I strongly believe that indeed God's kingdom is within me. I can be still and know. Some days I know better than other days, mostly because I get attached to my ego or all the stuff that I want to accomplish or the drama of my life. Today, for instance, with this sermon pending, serenity and inner peace were hard to find. But other days, I get sound advice, feel total peace, and pure gratitude. Unfortunately, there are those in our world who insist in a different translation of Luke 17:21. They say the kingdom of God is among you, and therefore you must be a member of a sect where among you the kingdom of God can happen. This doesn't make sense. How can the kingdom of God exist in a room full of egos? Spirituality for the frightened and the easily manipulated. Here's my story, the main part, my spiritual story. I'm going to dance with this thing instead of be limited by it. I grew up in the Missouri Synod Lutheran household. My parents loved Mont Olivet Church in South Minneapolis. I was confirmed there, and 12.5 years later, it was the cheapest place to have my wedding, so we chose it for our vows. I had a good spiritual childhood. After bedtime story, I said prayers with one of my parents. Now I lay me down to sleep. I pray the Lord my soul to keep. If I should die before I wake, I pray the Lord my soul to take. And then came the God blesses. God bless Mommy and Daddy, Aunt Viva, Uncle Claude. You know, I am glad we had this simple ritual. I was blessed to have good parents. My dad, at his peak, was Mr. Fun. Oh, we are the happy Peabodys, Peabodys, Peabodys. We are the happy Peabodys. We have lots of fun. Oh, we have lots of fun, but we do not have much fun. Oh, we are the happy My mother, on the other hand, was the voice of discipline. Emily, I haven't heard you practice yet today. Yin and yang clashed often in the household, but not as much as the Slizers. Their fights were loud and right outside my bedroom window. I first heard of the devil and hell from Julie Slizer. She was a strong believer in hell, and she said that I would go to hell for lying to her. Oh, she had graphic descriptions. I was scared. My mom said she didn't believe in hell. To be safe, however, I kept saying my prayers. God bless Mommy, God bless Daddy, and all the children of the world. And please, God, don't let there be hell. My spirituality escalated when I thought I was going to throw up. Please, God, don't let me throw up. I was scared to death of barfing. There is a word for that. Emetophobia. I don't know if I pronounced it right. I never did get around to listening to the pronunciation. Emetophobia brought me to my mother's bedside. Mom, I feel like I'm going to throw up. And Mom would get out of bed and come and sit with me in the bathroom. She became my priestly confessor as I told her all the things that bothered me. Patiently, she would listen to all the things I needed to get off my chest. I teased Mary Peterson again. We tried to ditch Jessica. I hid in the bushes instead of going to school today because the gym teacher makes me stretch my legs over my head and it hurts. I really don't like Jessica. Mom would listen, nodding, but I never said, "I'm sorry for getting you up in the middle of the night, Mom." Nope, I never did. Fear of throwing up also kept me away from alcohol until I found out at Laura Weber's bar mitzvah that wine did not make me throw up. It just made me a little floaty. I started partaking more heavily of the spirits in high school. I was shy around boys, and I found that if I drank and let myself loosen up, they would try to take advantage of me, and that is just what I wanted. My yang side was beginning to manifest itself, but so was my yin side. In high school, I joined a breakfast Bible study group at the Park Avenue United Methodist Church, where Prince married. They had a great youth program. Cindy McIntyre introduced me to this group. Now, I first met Cindy in kindergarten. I remember there was a painting lesson with easels and my dad's old work shirt for a smock, and I looked at Cindy's painting, and I got inspired to make a painting of Jesus in a house. Believe it or not, my painting went on display at the school board and came back to me framed. This was amazing foreshadowing because it was Cindy who brought me to the Bible study group 12 years later. I don't think I told anyone that the yellow blob in my painting was supposed to be Jesus. Oh, we had rousing spiritual discussions at Perkins over waffles. We went on canoe trips. One time we biked all the way to North Carolina to attend some sort of Methodist annual. Vans that traveled with us were a backup plan for anyone who was overheated. We studied the Bible in the morning and in the evening, and we prayed together. We biked the Blue Ridge Mountains. We saw hillbillies. It was amazing. That same group also went to a Billy Graham event at the fairgrounds. I remember a counter-protester, if you could call it that, dressed like a satanic person. Another protester was secured under chicken wire with some sign. I only wish I could remember what it said. These were spiritual activists, and they caught my young attention. Why would people come out to a Billy Graham event at the fairgrounds and do this? Don't they fear God? I didn't know it at the time, but they were offering me a most important thing, the gift of questioning. During college orientation week, I learned about transcendental meditation. I wanted to do it, but I got busy in a sorority instead. Sometimes I would sneak off to Campus Crusade for Christ. None of my other sisters were so inclined. I might have gone further in that direction, but I didn't think the end days were on us quite yet, and I wanted to party. So I did. The yang was winning. While my friend Sonia weighed them in, she met with the question, does he have a boat? I was asking, does he smoke pot? Sonia eventually went into law. I took my major in theater. Fortunately, I found work at the library. I have been very blessed with job opportunities coming my way. The library is one example. Gymnastic coaching was another. Life happens while you are busy making other plans. One of my earlier job opportunities was waitressing at the River Serpent. Oh my goodness, I was paid to listen to music, serve cocktails to men, and enjoy all sorts of bad options. Yang was really winning now. Eventually, I got involved with another partier, and it got so crazy. Anybody else remember PCP? That it got so crazy that it had to turn the insanity off. There is such a thing as too many hot fudge sundaes. I turned it off by falling in love with his next door neighbor. I totally got into this role. It wasn't even acting. One night, I went over to their double bungalow, gently knocked on Bruce's door. Then, when he did not answer, I went over to Randy's door and I found it. Bruce isn't answering his door. Randy invited me in and we chatted. There was no beer. This was a straight conversation. He asked me if I ever meditated. Wow, new subject. I admitted that I had considered it. Oh, he was one of those guys that had really penetrating eyes. I was overwhelmed by that man. Before I left Randy's house, I tried to kiss him. He did not respond. He became like a brick wall. I was mortified. I ran away and holding my breath, I drove home. My horror didn't end until I was in my own bed at home, tucked in the fetal position. Oh, there are worse things than throwing up. I was inspired to start exploring meditation. I checked out books by Ram Dass. I read Siddhartha. My passion led me into the realm of Eastern religion. I was also piqued by what my anthropology professor said of Buddhism. All life is suffering, and the cause of suffering is desire. Oh, yes, I had desire, and I was suffering. I visited the center on University Avenue. I was very nervous. I thought I might run into Randy there, but I never did. I had been part of the theater community at the U. After I graduated, I dabbled in community theater. I remember playing The Ugly Duckling at the parks. At the story's end, I would whip off my bathing cap, shake my long flowing hair, and that was the end. I was the beautiful swan. My mother saw that show 4 times. Oh, I love you, Mom, forever and forever. What a guardian angel she was. And then I met the Rebirthers. This was a big chapter in my life. A pretty cool, slightly older guy I met at the restaurant bar that I was working at told me that yoga was not really breathing and that I needed to learn how to really breathe. The first seminar was free. I was involved with this group for at least 2 years. I learned about breath clearing and affirmations. I cleared past traumas and negative thoughts. I began thinking positive, and I started reaping the rewards of positive thinking. I began to realize that I was a co-creator with God. The Rebirthers were all huggers and full of enthusiasm. We had inspiring speakers at our monthly gatherings. I learned about the chakras and Kundalini energy. And then I met my one husband, Paul, at the restaurant that we both worked at. And eventually there was marriage and a baby. And diapers were expensive, and so were rebirthing seminars. So we moved on. Leah, God bless her, is amazing. Truly the best thing in my life. And little Maya, oh my, I am truly blessed. We found Walker Church. It wasn't as cheap as Mount Olivet for our wedding, but we stumbled in one Sunday, and Brian Peterson kept stopping by our house during our happy hour, and to avoid this embarrassment in the future, we decided to join the church. I was recruited for the choir. Howard Krantz wrote wonderful holiday pageant dramas. My favorite Brian Peterson story. He phoned me when he was looking for rummage sale volunteers. I told him I was too busy. He said nothing. I listed off all my activities. He said nothing. Well, I just can't see how I could possibly fit it in. He said nothing. I waited. He waited back. Well, maybe I could find some time on Friday. Yep, that was Brian Peterson's. Silence can speak volumes. Another time, Brian shared the Bible verse of staying to the back until you are called to the front. And I swear to God, he looked right at me. And I try to keep that in mind as much as I can, because it does work. My favorite bookstore back then was Present Moments and Evenstar. I was curious about the occult, paganism, and other forbidden knowledge. 7 or so years into the marriage, I made the very selfish mistake of being bored with domestic life. I decided to leave. It was a summer it didn't get hot. I was house sitting on the north side in a house where someone had committed suicide after his wife left him. It was a deeply depressing summer. The few auditions I went to ended in rejection. I was giving up on my positive attitude. The thing is, and I figured this out later, with positive thinking, you can breathe in the idea that you are a likable person, but you cannot make people like you. At the time, I didn't get this, and surrounded by all that darkness and rejection, well, I was saved by moving back to the South Side. Wendy Ansley and Michael Engel let me rent half of a duplex they owned. I had the place to myself. It was time to start rebuilding my life. Things got better. I found ways to get involved. I made ritual a part of my life, my own routine of sacred directions, yoga, meditation, but I still needed to find self-acceptance, and I still needed money. I'd been spending recklessly, and I had cashed in on all funds available to me. One day, I called the bank, and I realized that a check that I had wrote had bounced. I was overwhelmed. A box of cereal was going to cost me $43. I had no money. I went to my yoga circle and started processing my pain and frustration. I did a highly charged emotional ritual and shared these thoughts with God. I am sorry, God, but if it's going to be this bad, I really don't want to participate anymore. And then I sat down exhausted, and it was like a veil parted, and I heard the voice, "Then don't." It was the voice of my guardian angel. I don't have to, I asked. This is when I finally found self-acceptance. The impulse to impress others was suddenly lifted. I decided to go on a vision quest. I needed to connect with a way to make a living. I went west to the Olympic Peninsula. Another good story that involved wandering aimlessly on a beach looking for the spot where I had left my backpack, but I'm going to save it for now. After I got home, I did a sacred love ritual. That same week, Randy reached out to me. We lived together for 3 years. But he wasn't anything like the Randy that I had imagined. He did not do yoga or meditate. He drank at least a 6-pack of beer a day and watched a lot of TV. I had built an interesting, though impoverished, life. He questioned my enthusiasms. Now, questioning is a good thing, but what? You only want the railroads when we're playing Monopoly, the game of life? That was kind of symbolic of him, really. I might have been able to live with his boringness, but then he tried manipulations on games on me based on lies, and I had to say goodbye. Once I made that choice, I did feel empowered. I knew I had done the right thing. So I sought out those rebirthers again to try to get some charge back into my life, but they were gone. Instead, I started volunteering at Pathways. As a volunteer, I could get on the waiting list for healings, and I enjoyed many of those. I was back on the spiritual path again. Go yin! I confessed to the volunteer coordinator that it was my pocketbook that really needed healing, and she offered me a week of employment there at the center while the usual cleaner was on vacation. It was an amazing experience. Being at Pathways at 5 a.m. in the morning, the energy was so light and airy. I was amazed. And then I got full-time work at the library, and, one of the reasons that I wanted to be an actress was because you could be cast in so many different lives. But at the library, each book is like living another lifetime. Emetophobia, remember that word? Fear of losing control. We try to control so much in our lives, our careers, our public image, yet spirit is not something we can control. We can invite the Holy Spirit in, but we cannot force or control it. Detachment is key, but it is not easy. As I researched this idea of the kingdom within, I discovered that Tolstoy had written a book by that title. My older sister once mentioned that she considered herself to be a Tolstoyan. It was time to ask her about that. When I did the other day, she spoke of Tolstoy reverently, how he renounced his riches, how he inspired Martin Luther King and Gandhi. I have requested Tolstoy's book, and I can't wait to read it. You know, another thing I wanted to address is social justice. My friend H, wouldn't let me use her real name, said that things are going to get worse before they get better. I think we all need to realize that the riches are within, not out there. Okie dokie. Time to open it up to questions. I hope you weren't too bored by that very long sermon. Thank you. Anybody, questions, or shall we move on? Did you get up and move your body? Okay, question.
Well, thank you so much for that, Emily. And I just want to say thank you, because you are one of the 2 people that was instrumental in me coming to Walker. So thank you. And that was maybe a little bit breathtaking, so maybe people will warm up if you give them 30 seconds.
If you search for rebirthing in the library calendar, it is there. A catalog, it is there. It will bring you some sources if you want to learn more. And I know it's still practiced, not that group that I went to, but there are leaders around the country, and Anybody? Okay, now let's see what we do next. Okay, we have special music with Henry. All right. How would you like to? Plenty of mics around, stools.
Let's see. Oh, maybe I'll set up the front not ever set it. Right. Okay, hopefully all goes well. Happy Pride to anyone who's celebrating. This song that I picked out today is by one of my favorite queer artists, Ezra Furman. And the song is called A Book of Our Names. And I tried to memorize it this time. We'll see how it goes. I want there to be a book of our names, none of them missing, none quite the same. None of us ashes, all of us flames, and I want us to read it aloud. I want to tell of our exile here in the cruel machinery, our bodies between the gears, and the world back home, just a ghost of a prayer. And I want us to read it aloud. And our names will be heard through prison walls, through wet city streets, and international calls. And we'll read it until this whole empire falls. And then we will continue to read it. And the names will be, the real ones that are ours, not the ones given us by the enemy powers, but the ones that we know in our bones and our bowels. And they'll be read out loud and repeated. I want there to be a book of our names, none of them missing, none quite the same. None of us ashes, all of us flames, and I want us to read it aloud. I want us to read it aloud.
Henry, it's great to have you come to the other side of the camera. Okay, we are going to have our circle now of joys and concerns. And then we have closing song with Cheryl Kramer. Are we all on for that? So let's think about getting into a circle, and we'll come around with the mic. Are we still on the mic? Does anybody on Zoom have any questions or comments or announcements? Okay, I'm closing out my thing here. Whatever you call it, computer. Go to off. Okay. Voila. I was hoping to print up a copy. One last rewrite. Nope, I just barely made it here today. Okay, so let's talk about our joys and concerns. Think about that as we go around the circle. Anybody have any? Oh, we have a joy and concern.
Yeah, my name is Raleigh Robinson, and I asked for prayers for my family, Kristen and Harrison and Amelie. Some of you may know that her husband was killed a year ago on Highway 69. The trial is scheduled tentatively this coming Monday. The family asks for prayers that they can stay in the light with so much darkness abounding us.
Their names are Kristen,
Harrison, and Amelie.
Kristen, Harrison, and Amelie. Yes. Thank you. Thank you for sharing, and welcome to Walker Church.
I just want to say this succinctly if I can. I have a concern for Walker Church, and it has to do with bullying, and I feel that Tyler was trying to address this in a very, very nice way last week. And so we have our ideas about ourselves and how we present, and I had this idea of how to say this, which would be, if you describe what does bullying mean, besides saying, oh, that reminds me of so-and-so, and they did this, and they did this. If you could think about what it is about that behavior that what are those attributes? And then look at yourself, okay? Some of us are not being nice to others of us. So if you can just consider, like if you hear yourself criticizing somebody else, try to think, okay, so what would make that better? What can I bring to it besides knowing that's not what I like? So I just need to say that because I want to be in Walker Church. I was drawn to Walker Church. And I'm reconsidering it. I know other people are reconsidering it too. So please, if we can just think about that. And I'm trying to do it too, because I know I tend to have some control issues, obviously, etc. So I'm working on that. But please think about that in our community. Okay, that's a concern.
Yeah, I have a joy. I'm just getting down to some reasonable hours at work that just don't take everything out of me.
Obviously, Friday was a tremendous day with the Roe v. Wade decision. But I'd like us just to keep in our hearts not only the people who are going to suddenly be falling behind a curtain of lack of access, but I'd like to also remind us to keep our queer family in mind in that, because there's a lot more than just women who are affected by this decision.
Thank you, Benita.
On that, I want to say that I invite the male allies to stand up strong in this time, in this decision. And Cheryl, that's very powerful. The call for self-reflection, and I really respect what you're saying.
Thank you, Joan.
A week ago, Walter and I went and visited Giovanni. He's been imprisoned for 15 years. He was 15 then. He is about 30 now. And he has a picture of him on the table.
Our prayers are with Giovanni.
I just, joy this week was that my parents were visiting me. And for folks who were in here on Wednesday, they got to meet my parents. And that was like a very sweet moment for me to introduce some of you all to them. So I'm bummed they couldn't be here. They left town already, but that's been a big joy this week.
Cool.
I'm also moving into a new era of more reasonable working hours. The school year is done, so I'll be catching up. Intense year, and I'll be catching up on some other aspects of my life.
No, thank you for your message too this morning. I just want to say what a wonderful time Nancy and Steve and I had yesterday to celebrate my brother-in-law and sister-in-law's 60th wedding anniversary. And his whole family was here, and we celebrated in the east side of St. Paul. It was just a joyful, joyful experience.
Thank you for sharing that, Rita.
I spoke last week about my partner, Michael, and his medical problems. He's been home since Tuesday, gaining stronger every day, and I don't think we're quite out of the woods yet, but it's a whole lot better than it was.
I've been getting a lot of questions as to when I'm going to have this doggone surgery done on my back, and I finally have a date. It only took them a couple of months to get there, but we're on the same page. So it's now scheduled for July 18th. And thank you all for the consideration.
Thanks, Diane. And best to you on July 18th. All right, we are ready to move into closing music. What? Oh. Do we have any birthdays? Well, heck. Okay then, we're going to do closing music. Cheryl is leading. And thank you all for coming to Walker Church today. And I'm going to hang around if anybody wants to ask any questions. They're too shy to ask in front of other people. I'm going to put this away too.
Okay, I found a Walker song, and we're gonna, it's number 151 in the books if you want to do it, and yeah, so in the key of C. I can see clearly now, the rain has gone. All of the obstacles in my way, gone are the dark clouds that had me bound. Gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. Be a bright, 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 sunshiny day. Yes, I can make it now, the pain is gone. All of the bad feelings
Gonna be a bright, 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 bright sunshiny day. Look all around, there's nothing but blue sky. Look straight ahead, nothing but blue sky. I can see clearly now the rain has gone. All of the obstacles in my way. Here is that rainbow I've been hoping for. Gonna be a bright, 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 sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, 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 sunshiny day. Bright, 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 bright. Gonna be a bright, 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 sunshiny day. Gonna be a bright, bright, bright.
Good to see you, Barbara.
You also. How are you doing?
Doing okay. Doing okay. How are you doing?
Hi, Rhonda. I'm having a good day today.
Good.
Yeah, I had a port put in and I had a kind of nasty week.
Oh.
And I'm getting through it. So yeah.
Port will be good.
Oh yeah.
That'll make it easier.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Have you gone through this before?
I had breast cancer about 25 years ago with chemo, surgeries, multiple surgeries, but
Do you
hasn't
go
come
in
back.
for, do
What?
you have CT scans do you have CT scans on a regular basis?
I had scans for 20 years. And then they told me that it wasn't going to come back at that point, that it'd been long enough. So that was good news to hear.
Yeah, good.
Yeah. So I'm done now with the treatments and the worry. But
yeah.
I did have one time, I have to tell you this, I came home from the brain scan, and got the phone call. We need to see you back here right away. Can you come in tomorrow?
Yeah.
So of course I'm thinking the worst. They said, we see an abnormality. We don't know what. So I go back the next day, and they gave me the report and they said, we've confirmed that you have a hard head. It was just a thick spot in the skull was all it was. So all that worry for nothing.
Very nice.
But I think people
yeah.
do that anyway, so. But
yeah.
Anyway, I hope you have a good week this week.
Thanks a lot. I hope
Yeah.
you do too.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.